What's going on, my high vibrational people? It's your boy, Inside 11, and today we're talking about disconnecting from family and friends for finding new associations that suit your well being and your original design, your authentic original design that God has intended you to be. So, a lot of us in life, now I'm talking about myself, I'm talking about my experience, I'm talking about what I went through in order to have to find myself, because I know other people, places, and things are going through similar experiences in order to find themselves. And a lot of the times we're going to be put in a position in life where we need to settle for certain associations, certain groups, certain friends. We're gonna put ourselves in certain boundaries, certain limits of expression based on the family we were born in, which is just basically your fourth house, your family, your domestic issues and things like that. And also when it comes to your 11th house, which is your associations, your group, and your networking, and you being able to be unique in those groups, networking, and things like that. This is why it's really, really important to find associations of people that have found already their own unique individual identity, because we are all individual expressions of God. Because when you look at the cosmos, when you look at the earth, not just the earth, because the earth is just one body, one celestial body that we're on, viewing other celestial bodies and things like that, and viewing our relative position as mathematically seeing our precision in order to understand when spring starts, when summer starts, when winter starts, and when fall starts, so we can start to create, harvesting calendars. Like, let's say if you were in the Egyptian Nile culture and tradition, you would want to observe and understand the astronomy and understand the Nile flows when when it's like less water, when it's more water, so you can start to understand when to plant, when to reap, when to harvest, and when you can do these things optimally and efficiently and things like that. So as we travel, as the sun travels through the sky, as it travels through the 12 houses of the zodiac and things like that, or just in its travel in general, as far as all the celestial bodies and things like that, we're going to start to experience how our associations and our families make us feel, and what space they put us in. And if your family, if your associations, make you feel restricted, it makes you feel limited in expression. You have to walk around glass shells around people, places, and things, because you don't feel like you can, express yourself honestly and truthfully. And if you would to do that, you would be able to see that people become very irritated. People don't like what you're expressing. People automatically want to silence you. This is why the Bible tells us things like a prophet is not welcome in his own hometown, and all a prophet is just somebody who's developed the gift of prophecy to see their circumstances, places, and things ahead of time, so they can begin to envision and create a new path for them to create the highest possible good. So how do we get placed in these associations? How do we get placed among these families that don't even share our thoughts and feelings often? And that alone can be very traumatizing, very worrying, very hurting, and that can make us very, very insecure. When I take a look at my own life, because I already know I reincarnated into a body, into a family that doesn't necessarily share my ideals or my thoughts and feelings, and me seeing that my mother or father and my brothers don't agree with my thoughts and feelings. Not that they need to agree or disagree, but at least let be and let live, like Kevin Hart says. When you can't just kill all of the animals on the earth, otherwise the animals are not going to be able to reproduce, and we're not going to be able to have meat to replenish the shelves and the stores and things like that. So there's this very, very delicate balance in life that needs to be met. Otherwise we start to see people, places, and things going to war. We start to see massive amounts of destruction going on. But because all that is because a particular person, place, or thing, or group of people have decided to go on the extreme side of a polar shift, and have decided to invade your personal space. They have decided to invade your privacy based on what you can give or offer to that person, place, or thing. So there's always going to be a deity. There's always going to be some kind of entity that makes itself known again and again and again through different people, places, and things. That's going to be the circumstance that you're dealing with. This is why in astrology it's a circle. It's the circle of life. We call it's so many types of circles, and that circle is divided into divisions to understand your own unique position in those divisions. Because the only way you can reincarnate into a family that doesn't belong to you, or someone doesn't have the same spiritual path as you, someone's not helping you go forward in your spiritual path, that just shows you that you must have gotten lost in some kind of ego. You must have gotten lost in some kind of expression or desire that didn't really belong to you. And so that's how you manifested those person, people, places, and things. And that's how you was even consciously aware of the body, or you as you being a blood cell inside of those person's bodies. So for me, for example, I rose out of the flesh of a Middle Eastern woman and a Middle Eastern father whom, were from the Nile culture of, Sudan and things like that. At the time, they were practicing Islam and things like that. And, there's a lot of things in Islam that I didn't necessarily agree with, or, once I became aware of other religions and existence and things like that. And that shows me that, I had enough experiences to realize things once I've seen it. Because, if you're living in, let's say, in United Arab Emirates, where I was located previously before I moved to the geographic location of Canada or America, which is actually the heart chakra of this being, I wasn't really aware that there were other religions in the world. I was only aware, there was Islam, because that's the only thing you see. You see people wearing white robes, which is just basically them being like a sperm cell, them wanting to play out the nature of being, pure, being original. But, that experience really, really traumatized me, because I know that these people weren't who they said they were. And so we can practice color alchemy and things like that to display a nature that may not necessarily belong to us. But in truth, they don't even really practice those practices as well. They are just as sick as anybody else. They are just as unhealthy. And I'm not talking about particularly Muslims or any particular group of people. I'm really talking about all people in the world, because you're going to be able to see that these people don't really uphold the practice that they say they really uphold. Because you're going to start to see how they play out their lifestyle, how they play out their circumstances, and you're going to see that, they're playing a whole different ball game. And, me seeing that men had complete dominion and control over a female, and a female doesn't necessarily have the choice or an option to, make certain lifestyle choices, that really put me in a space where I have to ask myself, why isn't there no balance? Why is there an extreme polar shift? This is why when you actually look at Mohammed bin Salman, which is the current royal prince of Saudi Arabia, the supposed prince, which is really a fictitious prince, because they're using the monetary sovereign wealth system to control the people through oil and things like that, which is also part of the harmonious arrangement of the system, the beast system, which is basically just the Federal Reserve and things like that. They actually worship the masculine principle on a very, very extreme level, and even them, they are about to see what's about to come out of that. That's why, you have men in Saudi Arabia running around under burqas who are gay, and they're just running around to other men's houses, and they're just trying to have sex and shit like that, because they don't really be subscribing the ideology, that system, and things like that. So, as the shadow garment is aware of those things as well, they know that they have to renew the water cycle, basically renew the thoughts and feelings in that area with something else new, or because people are going to change anyways, but they want to make sure that they can at least, control that change and control that shift of energy. So they want to make sure that you guys shift in a way where you guys are still subscribing to their paradigms. You guys continue to give them their energy and their thoughts and feelings. And me seeing all of that, that made me realize something very, very important, and that I know that other people are polarized in their life. This is why we even have the sickness called bipolar, because people be way too polarized on something, and they don't even know how to create an equilibrium, which is basically you being able to create a balance between your own thoughts and your own feeling, between your masculine and feminine principle, so you don't go too extreme on a polar shift. Because any person with a brain is going to be able to see what happens when you get lost on a polar shift. Let's say, we have the root chakra, which is aggression and transformation. And let's say you have the heart chakra, love, feeling, family, and things like that. Because the heart chakra, we find that, in the fourth house, which is ruled in Cancer by the moon and things like that. It's exalted in Taurus. You being able to stabilize your feelings and things like that. And the root chakra, the two polar shifts of that is Aries and Scorpio, which Aries is the external expression, and Scorpio is the internal expression. Whenever you get lost in a polar shift, you're going to find yourself in situations that create a circumstance that's too extreme, that you don't need to create. So you got lost in a conscious wave of awareness that you created, and you started to play out a situation that went on a polar shift, and you're going to see what that polar shift creates. And so as you gather experiences in your life, as you gather information, because you're here to gather information, and then to use that information as a concrete form of evidence to grow, to change yourself in a direction, because now you've seen and experienced so many times, and now you know that if you keep staying on that same path, you're going to create worse situations and things like that. So whenever you get lost in your heart and your feeling, or you're too busy telling people, the cancers, the meaning and reasonings behind your feelings and your emotions and things like that. And so you get lost in those things on an extreme level, and you start to see what play out in that. So that's why you need to equalize yourself and play that energy out in a way where it's not extreme for yourself and too extreme for others, because you're going to start to see people are going to be like, what? So I need to care about every feeling that you have? What about my feelings? That's one thing a lot of cancers don't really understand. They want you to care about their feelings, but they don't know that everybody else got feelings. But they, since they're a cardinal sign, they feel like they can initiate and tell you why they feel the way they feel. And since the moon is one of the closest orbs to this planet, they're going to have a lot of power on this planet to change the feelings of a lot of people and things like that. So if you have a Cancer in your life, it's going to be like a power washer, and you're going to go in that shit, and they're going to try to like wash your feelings with their feelings and make sure you feel the same way they feel. But as long as you maintain your position and you don't play out the role that they want you to play, you're going to still play out that purpose and that circumstance that you want to play. Now, what about the root chakra now? A lot of people is going to want to play out this extreme transformation energy, where they're going to want to transform you. Let's say Aries. They're going to want to transform you with their ideas. They're like, nah, you should see things this way. You should see things this way. Or Scorpios might have this desire, and they might be very manipulative behind the scenes and trying to sting you if you don't want to go for that desire that they have created for you. So they're going to go behind the scenes and be very manipulative. Now, none of these things is bad, but this is why we need to be careful of not getting lost on a polar shift. Because whenever we get lost on a polar shift, we push away people, places, and things that are for us, not against us, but we don't realize it. So for me, for example, I had a lot of problems, with my throat chakra, with my ability to speak my reality into existence, me being able to vocalize my life and my existence into reality, me not being able to express my thoughts and feelings and how I sincerely, genuinely, authentically, and originally feel about things. So I settled for how other people communicated, how other people talked, and things like that. And I put myself in situations where I allowed myself to be ruled over by other people's information, other people's communication, simply because one of my energy centers was suppressed based on me going through an experience again and again and again, and me creating a negative habit pattern that puts me in a circumstance that is too extreme. And so I started to see how that plays out when you don't speak. You don't speak up. This is why we even say the expression "speak up," because people already play out these mentalities, but we play it out in so many different ways in our reality. So we play because we got this entire the circle of life, and you might not speak up about your own individual identity, or you might not speak up about what you value, what you appreciate, and things like that. You might not speak up when you're in your environment or surrounded by friends, with your neighbors. So if you don't speak up and let it be known, then you're gonna be shut down by other people, and other people are gonna see themselves as being right, because you're not doing something for yourself, and ain't nobody ever gonna do something for you. So when we find ourselves associating with the wrong people, places, and things, when we find ourselves in the wrong family and things like that, that's gonna shut down our expressions. That's gonna shut down our energy circuit. So we're not gonna be able to circulate energy, and we're going to find ourselves in a circumstance where we are circumcised, and then we are supervised, and then we get possessed because we were depressed by other things. So whenever you're depressed, that really means you've put yourself down for something lower. So now you're depressing yourself. Now you're pressing yourself down. You're telling yourself to shut yourself down for that external deity that's really playing out in the form of entity, because all these planets, really, they just want to walk the earth too. They just want to come talk gear just like you. So you're actually a higher expression than them, because they can't do much. They just do shit like this. Love, money, wealth. So their experiences is very fast, but as humans, our experiences is very slow. So this is why you get to play out this really, really fun game in this planetary grid and things like that, but you got to understand the game and not get pimped by the game. And if it's too late, if you become like a grandma, grandpa, and you're still getting pimped by the game, you're gonna be one of those extremely negative, extremely pissed off, extremely selfish, and you're gonna start to push out those mentalities, people outside of you, because since you're so pissed off at yourself, since you're so annoyed that you didn't overcome the things that were stopping you from being yourself, you're gonna want to limit and put boundaries on other people, places, and things because you believe those things. So it's actually done onto you. You believe you're limited. You believe you have boundaries. You believe you have certain laws that you need to abide by. But see, it's done onto you as you believe. And since I believe in different things, I'm going to create circumstances. I'm going to bring about people, places, and things, and resources to bring about the situation that I ultimately want to be in. So when you find yourself in the situation ultimately of not being in the right associations or being in the family that doesn't support your thoughts and feelings, your natural process of being, because a lot of us are too busy doing things, but you're a human being. You are internal. You are forever, even beyond this body. Your mind is forever, and you will go beyond to a higher evolutionary cycle. Not really higher, but in the sense of like a further out. Because when you're able to go beyond and use your mind to pierce beyond the veil of this universe, you're gonna start to see that you can manifest, create circumstances, new associations, new groups, and you're gonna find a whole new group of spirits in the ether that's gonna assist you and give you more energy so you can create that situation, because now you're creating something entirely new. And this is why they view Jesus as a threat, or any group of people that went against their Masonic system, which is Masonry is just another way of looking at dividing the sky and you putting that into particular items and things like that. Like, let's say the triangle, this is the shape and the form that a lot of Masons worship and things like that, like the idea, the problem, the solution, and you having that hat over yourself and you being able to create your witch hat, you able to create that idea, problem, solution, and you giving that solution for other people and them carrying that out. So you become like you start shooting arrows at people, speculative arrows. This is what the shadow government do for you guys when you guys are watching TV and things like that. They're just gonna suggest to you a bunch of shit, and they're gonna be like, yeah, you take that solution. Yeah, you deal with that problem that way. Yeah, you don't have that idea of yourself. This is why you even have Jesus being crucified on the cross, because subconsciously they're letting you know, you dare ever have a masculine, structured idea about yourself. Don't you dare let your solar plexus even, rise, from the east and fall to the west and things. And now that's their practices, but you don't need to do that. But it's always based on observing astronomy and creating signs and sigils and things like that. So don't be afraid of how people react to you or how people feel about you, because really what you're showing God is you're not a strong, hold on, let me show you something. Because you're really showing God like you're just a weak magician. You're not Trismegistus Megistus. You're not an Atlantean magician. You're showing God that you can't ground other people's realities, thoughts, and feelings with your mind and begin to transmute that as something new. Because you think people like Jesus when they came across? They was like, who the fuck is this dude? We don't like this dude. Hey, you don't change the thoughts and feelings in this environment. This is our rulership and shit like that. So you gotta understand people is not gonna like that. But hold on. And this is basically like another example of that thing. This is basically like a magic wand and things like that. So you gotta understand this body already is the magic wand, because your spine is just a representation of the Moses wand. And when Moses took the snake and he made the snake and he turned the staff into a snake, he was basically saying, I created a sine wave and I made it vibrate, and that's the feminine energy, that's the intuition energy signature and things like that. So he was able to ground other people's thoughts and feelings and then transmute these thoughts and feelings. Like when you see somebody like Justin Trudeau, Joe Biden, and things like that, now they probably didn't even get elected, to tell you the truth, but based on them being able to play out that mind of being confident. Like, for example, Justin Trudeau is the biggest liar I've seen in the world, but you gotta admire him because he can still ground your negative thoughts and feelings and transmute that into something else. He can still play out being confident, play out being energetic, being excited. All of those things are fake, and although it's for an agenda, and even he doesn't even really want to do that, but at least he sold his soul to a devil that's giving him a lot of money, giving him retirement. And some of you guys be selling yourselves to the smallest of devils, to the smallest of demons. So at least he sold himself to a big goddamn devil, and he's getting something out of it. And I ain't mad at my boy. Because I don't hate nobody. I don't spend my energy signature on hating shit. I hate the right stuff. I know who to attack. I know who to mess with. Trust me, I don't play games like that like regular people. Hell no. So don't be afraid of being yourself, because you have to understand, when you truly understand your purpose, you're gonna scare yourself first of all, and you're gonna scare everybody else, because people are gonna be like, what the heck is that? What the heck is that spaceship looking like a speculative pimp? You know, what the heck is that? So you can have a lot of, but you have to understand that's energy as well. That's people giving you their thoughts and feelings. And so since we're in a cosmic grid that's connected everywhere, all the ley lines are connected. Even if somebody look at your YouTube video from somebody else and they get inspired, they catch those feelings, they catch those vibes, those thoughts and feelings that you created that affected them and influenced them. Hopefully it was a positive change. It's going to come back to you, and you're going to get paid in the form of currency, in the form of energy, and you're currently getting paid currency based on whatever you're currently seeing. So right now you might be seeing yourself broke, you might be seeing yourself, you might be like, nah, I'm insecure, nah, I don't know how to express myself, nah, I can't do this and this and that. And so that's the circumstance that now you're creating for yourself. And so that's the reality you're getting ready to play out. So the universe doesn't know what the heck, why you do that. The universe is just like, okay, my brother said he's a loser, I'm gonna show him more situations that he's a motherfucking loser. And so, you know, I told myself, I can't express myself. I don't know. No, you do know. You know everything already. You already know everything. But stop telling yourself that, because with your speech, with your grammar, which is spelling, you're programming your DNA, your cells, to react to whatever you're saying. So your cells is only going to give you whatever you give them. So you can't be putting yourself in those situations where, you know, you're worried, you're doubtful, you hate yourself. No. You don't need the education system. You don't need the entertainment. We are the new entertainment. We're the new education system. We're the new politicians. We're the new government structure. So they don't want you thinking that way. Because when you think that way, they're going to have to come for your ass and pop a bullet in your head. But if you're a strong spirit, they ain't going to fuck with you or do shit. Because they already know. If they mess with you, you God's child. And they're about to manifest the worst bullshit, the worst circumstances, the highest possible evil for them if they mess with you. Because all I'm going to do is just create a water wheel and just come back here if I want to, or I'm going to create a water wheel and get the hell out of here if I want to. Either way, I'm not stressed, because I know once you're high vibrational, you know you ain't the body, and you know the body is just a representation of your mentality and things like that. This is why when people come to this life, some people develop disease and things like that. That lets you know that there's things that they don't really deal with, and that organ, that center of chakra, that energy signature that they manifested is not healthy. You know, they're not feeling wealthy about something. They're destroying themselves, and that's what God is trying to show them. Because you're always going to bring your thoughts and feelings with you, because your thoughts and feelings are just following you wherever you go to, because they look at you like you're the universe. They look at you like, oh, you're their father, you're their mother. So, you know, they're always going to want to reincarnate in you. But these are individual spirits as well, you know, going through their own experiences and evolving as well. And when you elevate yourself into a new level, your cells, everything in you is going to vibrate on a whole new level. You're going to get a whole new energy. Your blood is going to start to flow different. Your hormonal system is going to start to flow energy. You know, your dick is going to be way harder 24/7, 365. And your vagina is going to be wet as the ocean. So, you know, the purpose of this video is to help you understand, you know, not to be afraid of disconnecting. And this is because when you disconnect, you connect. So if I unplug my computer right now, I can go plug my computer somewhere else. So that's just an allegory to show you, okay, if there's a disconnect from somewhere else, and connect with something else. So, you know, there's always a process of letting go and putting on something new. You put on the armor of God, and you put faith, and you put on these attributes and characteristics, and you will see yourself manifesting your highest possible good for yourself and things like that. So, you know, yeah, that's really it. You know, because the thing is, I can talk about this shit till Jesus comes back, bro, and he ain't coming back either. He ain't coming back, so I can talk till Jesus comes back about the spiritual shit, and I can keep dropping the spiritual knowledge, which I'm gonna keep doing, because that's what, you know, that's what God has placed in me. And if I deny myself, then that means I deny God. I tell God, you know, God, not God, you tripping, bro. I don't know why you created me, bro. I ain't shit. Nah, don't you dare disrespect God now. Don't you dare disrespect the parameter now. Just know you a cell inside of this parameter and get to motherfucking learn it. Real shit. You know, we're gonna infinitely see y'all on the next motherfucking video. You better believe it. Real shit.